Hey everybody, Carl here. Welcome back to Trails to Azure, where in the previous episode, we started a brand new fresh day here in Crossbell, where we've gotten some fun quests on the agenda, one of which is one born every minute, where we have to go and see Chief Tolta, who is apparently visiting here in the residential district. But first, is Colin okay?
Papa said he and Chief Tolta had something important to talk about, so he told us to go upstairs. You think he's got something to do with his work?
I do. From what I could tell, Chief Tolta's son has gotten himself wrapped up in some troubling business. I hope it's nothing too cumbersome. We'll see. We will see. Excuse us, you put in a request for the special support section?
Ah, hello there, SSS. I can't tell you how glad I am that you're here to help with this again.
Yes, thank you very much for coming. Can you tell us what's happened since yesterday, Chief Tolta? I understand there was a new development in the case.
Yes, that's correct. I fear the situation is more dire than we originally thought. I'd like to discuss it in depth with you all right away. Would that be alright?
Let's accept. Right now is fine. Please fill us in on the details. You mentioned that the situation has changed since yesterday?
That it has. Yesterday evening, I went to the Ash Tree Inn in another attempt to persuade Derek. I told him that Minnith character was far too suspicious, that he had to break ties with him.
You didn't beat around the bush then, huh?
Not for a second. In the end, Derek still refused to listen. However, I did learn something new, and so I hurried here to discuss the matter with Mr. Hayworth.
Something new? Has Minnith taken some form of action?
What Chief Tolta told me caught me off guard, if I may be frank. Minnith's grip on the village is far tighter than we had given it credit for. Would you mind elaborating? From what we learned yesterday, several villagers already trust him. Has it gone further than that?
Well, you see, Minnith has not only secured the private property on Old Armorica Road, but also the deeds to numerous plots and fields in the village itself.
He what? As shocking as that is, one question comes to mind. How was he able to pull off something that big? Good question. From what we know, Minnith pitched a plan to increase Armorica's lotus production, as he puts it. By slowly accumulating deeds to the villagers' farmlands, he could expand the lotus fields and streamline their harvests. Moreover, management of the plots themselves would be contracted to the Quincy company to reduce the required labor.
That does line up with what we heard yesterday. At first blush, it sounds like a pretty good deal for the villagers.
Yeah, too good to be true. As long as those deeds are in Minnith's hands, he can abuse the land in any way he wants. There'd be no coming back from that.
Indeed. A man cannot be trusted by any means. Had he solely focused on that private property of ours, even the worst case scenario wouldn't be too terrible. But now that he's using plots of land within the village, the results could be catastrophic.
You guys might be shit out of luck when it comes to breaking that contract, though.
That's where you come in. If you can expose him, then perhaps the contract can be voided. I know there's nothing criminal happening on the surface here, but even still, can we ask you to look into this?
Well, the SSS has never actually been all that beholden to CPD protocol. Our job is to support the citizens when they request it. You've given us enough reason to find Minnith suspicious, so we'll gladly help.
Thank you, Detective Bannings. All of you have been our village's guardian angels.
Where should we begin the investigation? I'm at a bit of a loss on that myself. Me too. It's not as if we have any smoking guns to look into.
True.
In that case, why not ask Ian for assistance?
Do you mean Mr. Grimwood?
Yes. Granted, we're only working off our suspicions at the moment. But if you explain the situation to Ian, you may be able to find a trace of something illicit in Minnith's actions. That sounds like a good idea. Even a shred of evidence against Minnith would be a good starting point for the investigation. I should warn you though, Ian's been incredibly busy ever since the mayor advocated for independence. There's no guarantee he'll have the time to see you. Only one way to find out. Off to the Grimwood Law Office. Maybe we'll catch him, maybe we won't. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Yeah, let's go pay him a visit.
We'll leave you to it then. I'll ask my business associates if they've heard any rumors about Minnith or the Quincy company.
We would appreciate that.
Thank you, everyone. You're the only ones I can count on. I'm so powerless in all of this. It's just pathetic of me.
Don't worry, Chief Tolta. We'll handle it from here.
You just sit tight and relax. And maybe pray to the goddess for good luck while you're at it.
Very well. I'll be waiting for you.
One born every Minnith.
I'm Derek's father and the village chief, and I'm so powerless in all of this. It's just pathetic of me. I beg of you, please expose Minnith for the monster he is.
This whole incident has Chief Tolta worried sick. But I suppose that's only natural. This involves not only his village, but his son as well. Still, too much stress can ruin your health. I'll do what I can to keep him calm. Yeah, I'd like old cards to be on the table here in this case.
Ooh, we have honey. It's so sweet and yummy.
Aw, you little rascal. He's in the honeypot again. He stepped right in the honeypot. Oh, Colin. I thought better of you. I'll bet Harold Hayworth's out and about. So let's instead head up the Grimwood Law Office, shall we? Taking a break from the Constitution?
Oh?
Mr. Grimwood. We were afraid you might have been out of your office.
Why, yes. I was just in the middle of taking a much-needed break. But it would seem you're in desperate need of my counsel.
Is it really that obvious?
I've seen those looks on your faces coming through my door countless times by now. Please, take a seat. I might be busy, but I'm happy to lend you an ear.
Our apologies. And thank you.
Lloyd and the SSS explained what they learned about Minnith and his actions throughout the past 24 hours. They also mentioned that Minnith had been collecting deeds to plots of land in Armorica Village.
I see. Well, this is quite a predicament the village has found itself in. A case such as this would typically be a top priority for me. But as you know, I've been busy this past week drafting up a preliminary constitution for the mayor. I apologize, but I won't have the time to handle this case personally.
That's unfortunate, but we understand.
We suspected that would be the case. Still, even just a consultation would be helpful.
Very well. I'll give you any advice I can while you're here.
We appreciate it, Mr. Grimwood. So, do you have any insight on this? At this point, there's no evidence of Minnith engaging in any unlawful activity, at least as far as we can tell. Is there something we're missing?
I do have one idea.
Damn, already?
Possibly. An Erebonian contact of mine once provided me with some reference material for a very similar case. Though I can't say the circumstances are an exact match.
Any lead that could help us with the investigation is a good one. If you think this other case is worth mentioning, we'd be happy to hear about it.
Very well. I can hardly refuse you all. From what I can recall, several years ago, a man visited the estate of an Erebonian baron. He introduced himself as Rittner, an enterprising businessman working for a famous brewing company. Rittner presented the baron with an opportunity to become rich beyond his wildest dreams, and quickly at that. He proposed that the baron's barley fields, which had been passed down the family for generations, be used to establish a brewery. The facilities would be constructed on the barony, and his family would be responsible for managing them. That was the idea, anyway.
Hold on a second.
What you're telling us is awfully reminiscent of what's going down in Armorica.
The baron accepted the deal and signed Rittner's contract. Then, under the pretense of constructing the brewery, the fields and a portion of the baron's land were temporarily transferred to Rittner. Moreover, the baron converted his assets into capital for the sake of getting the business off the ground. However, Rittner soon disappeared with both the deeds and the capital, never to be seen again.
The hell?
The Baron and his family panicked after suddenly losing contact with Rittner. At the time, they had no idea of the gravity of what was about to unfold. To their shock and surprise, they learned Rittner had sold the deeds to a third party. The land was to be repurposed into a villa resort. Today, it stands as part of a suburb instead. In the end, the Baron's family racked up a substantial debt. Before long, they had lost their entire territory. With that, the family was stripped of their rank, and they vanished without a trace.
Damn, that's one hell of a story.
That man conned them into giving up their property and sold it right under their noses. Who would even do such a thing?
Your investigation immediately reminded me of that case. One person lies to another's trust before running off with a large fortune. It's a common strategy for committing fraud.
Fraud? If this case is the same, then Minnith may not be a Quincy company employee at all. It would simply be a con man trying to swindle Armorica for all they're worth.
Precisely. I can't say for certain that's the case here, but I'm concerned it might be.
I agree. There are too many parallels between that story and our case. It'd be best if we shifted our focus to investigating this as a potential act of fraud. That changes the kinds of leads we should be looking into. Exactly. As far as Minnith goes, there are two major areas to stand out to me as suspicious. First, that plan of his. We need to find out whether or not he's actually done anything to establish this Armorican honey company.
We could probably figure that out by following the mirror trail. You'd have to apply for a bank loan to open a business in Crossbell. If it's all a sham, then we'll find the evidence we need at the IBC.
The other point of concern is whether Minnith's actually an employee of the Quincy company. The Quincy company's headquarters aren't in Crossbell though, so that'll be a little tougher to ferret out.
I may be able to help with that. We should try stopping by my grandfather's home.
The McDowell estate? Why?
There should be a brochure about the Quincy company there. It outlines how the company operates. We may be able to find some useful information. What's something like that doing in your Gramps' pad, Mademoiselle?
Well, because I happen to enjoy making sweets, alright?
I once took an interest in the Quincy company, so I ordered one of their brochures. Last I recall, it was on a shelf in my old bedroom. And again, I doubt a simple brochure would have all the information we need.
I wouldn't be so quick to discount the possibility. It's official Quincy company material. You might be able to find something that conflicts with what Minnith said. It never hurts to cover all of your bases.
Agreed. Let's drop by the McDowell estate too and see how it pans out. Thanks for all the invaluable advice, Mr. Grimwood. Because of you, we finally have some leads to chase down.
Always happy to be of service. Just to confirm, you said we're using the Hayworth residence as a base of operations, yes?
Yeah, we are.
Very well then. I'll lend you my help with this case for as long as time permits me. Though unfortunately, I can't make any promises, given my other responsibilities.
That's not a problem at all. You've already helped us immensely. It's nice having a professional in the neighborhood we can lean on.
I'll try to meet up with you at Hayworth's later. Good luck with your investigation until then.
Thanks, Mr. Grimwood. Okay, let's get this investigation underway. To start, we'll need to go to the IBC and look at the Minnith's plan regarding the Armorican Honey Company. It'll be a good idea to swing by the McDowell estate for that brochure too. Something in there might contradict Minnith's words. That gives us a total of 2 leads to follow up on.
Roger, we won't rest until we find that evidence. Let's do it!
You can count on my help with this case for as long as my time allows. I'll try to make my way to Hayworth residence later. Good luck with your investigation until then.
Mr. Grimwood's been extremely busy drafting the preliminary constitution. But I'm with him on this. This case isn't something that can be overlooked. I'll try to help out as much as I can, too.
Thanks, Pete. Thank you so much. Yahoo! Let's do residential district first and foremost, shall we? Now we should actually go and search that bookshelf on the second floor. I don't like doing the guide in chronological order. That just won't do.
Let's see. Oh, here it is. This is the Quincy Company brochure I mentioned earlier.
Dang, they even had this sucker bound. Can't say they didn't put any effort into the thing.
They have ample resources to do so, considering the size of the company. Whatever is written inside should be sufficiently credible. Then it's a good thing we stopped by for it. Alright, let's take a closer look inside.
As the leader in confectionery manufacturing, the Quincy Company strives tirelessly toward its next innovation. This brochure aims to briefly introduce the methods and creeds that drive our passion. We believe the key aspect of any confectionery is its taste. Otherwise, how could anyone enjoy it? With this belief as a core tenet, the Quincy Company refuses to compromise on the quality of its products. Our factories are fitted with the latest equipment and operated with the utmost attention to hygiene. Here at the Quincy Company, we are particular not just about the quality of our ingredients, but where they are sourced as well. Our product development pipeline too is run with the strictest of standards. Prototypes are personally sampled by our executives, who, after many meetings, decide whether a product is worthy to go to market. Only then can they reach the production line. This has been a Quincy Company tradition since its founding, such that we may deliver our valuable customers nothing less than the finest confectionaries to enjoy. It is this commitment to excellence that has made the Quincy Company the exceptional confectioner it is today. What propaganda. Yeah, but I saw at least two things that stood out to me. One was the whole, top-of-the-line factories, super important with hygiene. I mean, yeah, you could do that out in the boonies. I guess you could build a factory out in the boonies and get it all nice and clean. But the second one, this is supposed to go through a pipeline. It needs to pass executives and board meetings and just lots of red tape. And here it seems like this Minnith character just had a taste of honey and was like, let's build a factory. It's not adding up.
I'm not sure what we were expecting. This is all just your typical corporate double talk. Did anybody manage to find a contradiction between this and something Minnith has said? Not in particular. Maybe coming here for this brochure was a waste of time after all. Actually, I did notice something. You did?
Oh, I get it. You just activated the old detective mode and bam, right? Well, don't leave us hanging. What'd you find?
If you remember what Minnith told us at the hotel yesterday, the answer is obvious. It was only a passing remark, but it still comes into major conflict with what's written in his brochure. Enough to prove that he isn't, in fact, an employee of the Quincy Company to begin with.
You got that much out of this one little pamphlet?
That's right. You see, if Minnith... Sorry to cut you off, but where's the fun in spoiling it all now? What are you talking about? Well, if I'm being honest, it's annoying that you're the only one who's figured it out. So why not give the rest of us a chance and save it for when we interrogate Minnith? Wazy, this is an investigation, not some game. I agree with Wazy, actually. Your hypothesis might not be accurate after all. As a precaution, we shouldn't let ourselves be swayed by a mere hunch. Not to mention, I don't appreciate you stealing the spotlight with your detective mode, as Randy put it. Why do I get the feeling that second comment was the real reason she doesn't want me to share? Fine, if you two insist. Instead, I want you all to consider everything we've learned so far. I'll summarize the main points of the brochure in the detective notebook. All that's left is for us to visit the IBC. Let's see what we can find out there. Lead the way.
I still think we were onto something there. Alright, it's all very suspicious. IBC time though. Let's freaking go. We haven't been doing our talkies here, might as well do that. Lovely morning, wouldn't you say? The weather's as pleasant as ever. And what better place to enjoy it than here at this spot? The air is fresh and crisp, and the view just can't be beat.
It is a good morning, isn't it?
There have been numerous reports of unknown creatures appearing around the state. The security department isn't limited to anti-personnel tactics, so I know a fair bit about counteracting monster attacks. But that's no reason to get complacent. We have to be ready for anything. That's right, even me snooping on the elevator. Wang's got it on lockdown.
Prices have been taking an interesting turn in the Republic this morning. I'd be sitting pretty had I bought that stock I was eyeing earlier. Well, hindsight is always 20/20, isn't it? Nothing that can be done about it now.
That's right. Is there a right attitude? I heard the last remaining Calvardian terrorists from the trade conference were finally arrested yesterday. Apparently, they were caught trying to return to the Republic by rail. It turned into a huge incident. It must have been a real fright for the passengers. I doubt any of them expected to share a train with wanted fugitives.
Yeah, but the real terror was the counterfeiter all along.
These days, Miss Croyce is so busy that she can't always make time for lunch. That's why she often carries meal replacement bars with her while she travels.
Aw, busy woman.
Hello again, SSS. What can I do for you today? Well, I'd like to ask for the IBC's cooperation with an investigation we're working on. Would it be possible for you to do an account search for us, Lanfei? We're hoping to look into some suspicious Mira transfers from a certain depositor. You want me to pull up private information on one of our clients, then? Doing so is within the company policy if it's related to a criminal inquiry. But would you mind telling me the details of the situation first? Not a problem.
Lloyd provided all the information they had on the suspected fraud case.
I see. I believe I understand the circumstances now. Will this be sufficiently probable cause for us to conduct a search?
Cracking down on these kinds of things is in the bank's best interest, too. Fraud would damage your reputation.
You are correct, and this is related to a legitimate investigation. I can help. We'll have to settle for me simply telling you what I can pull up on my terminal screen here. That's more than enough. If you would, please. Very well. First, let me search for an account registered under the name Minnith. Click-clack, click-clack, click. Armorica Honey Company, subsidiary of the Quincy Company. Click-clack, click-clack, click. There we are. We do indeed have an account opened under that name. Hold on. What happened? Did you find something incriminating? Well, I don't have the authority to tell you the exact balance on record. But I will say that the Armorica Honey Company has no more than the minimum deposit in its account. What exactly does that mean? Basically, corporate accounts require an initial sum of capital to open. In this case, that base amount is all there is. From what you've told me, that would leave tens of thousands of Mira unaccounted for. Minnith has the construction of the factory, management of the fields, and more to cover. It is simply impossible for any minimum deposit to be capable of financing all of it. That much is clear. And despite him holding the titles to the land and signing several deals, the balance hasn't changed a single time. It's suspicious to say the very least. By which I mean, this account appears to have been made for the sole purpose of gaining Derek's trust. Things clearly aren't adding up here, in more ways than one. Yeah, this is just the kind of evidence we need. We appreciate your cooperation, Lanfei. Not at all. I'm glad I could be of assistance. Should you ever require anything more, please don't hesitate to ask. We'll keep that in mind. Okay, we now have material on every suspicious aspect of Minnith and his plan. Let's make our way back to the Hayworth residence. Got it. Okay. Please let us know if you're ever in need of anything else. We're always happy to assist you in any way we can. Alright, we do have that decoration for Tio's room. I should just 500 Mira. It's just 5. No, but I need to keep an overview. Just, I could get myself some cash money. You never know when you're gonna need some capital, you know? As 48K, we're so close. It's not like there's anything I could sell here, right? Just a simple thing. Just a little something. That's fine. I want that new master quartz for Tio. All right. Let's go back. Residential.
It's time to let Harold know. Harold! Oh, the whole gang's here. Yes. What's up?
Ah, it's the SSS. There you all are.
Mr. Grimwood, I'm glad you could make it. Did you just get back yourself, Mr. Hayworth?
Yes, I finished asking my business associates about the matter at hand. How did things go on your end?
We were able to round up a few leads thanks to Mr. Grimwood. How about you, Mr. Hayworth?
I did just the same, in a manner of speaking. You see, I'm not quite sure what to make of it all. Well, you went through the trouble of digging up that info, so you may as well share with the rest of the class.
Agreed. The information may be beneficial to our investigation.
I suppose you're right. I asked my business associates if the name Minnith rang any bells, having never heard it myself. What they informed me is that he's been making inquiries into a certain market since arriving in Crossbell.
And what market would that be?
Land prices in various locations throughout Crossbell. Land prices?
He sounds more like a real estate agent at this point. Why would a Quincy company employee even need that kind of information?
The answer to that just might be instrumental in helping us figure out Minnith's true objective here.
You think so?
It's certainly something worth considering. Incidentally, I may have discovered something else of note since we last saw one another.
Huh?
Harold, Chief Tulta, could I ask you to help me find something in my office? At your office, Ian?
I don't mind, but is it important?
Well, it isn't substantial enough to prove anything in and of itself. We may be able to see it as a final nail in the coffin once you've pinned Minnith down.
You really got something like that up your sleeve, Grizzly Grim?
Possibly. We may not make it in time, so please, don't wait for us. You ought to get to Armorica Village as quickly as you can. If Minnith is a criminal, we think he is, then his plan could very well be in its final stages as we speak. I'm confident, however, that the evidence you have on hand will be enough for you to solve the case. Best of luck, SSS.
Got it. Thanks, Mr. Grimwood. Okay, guys, off to Armorica Village. It's time to reveal Minnith's true colors and stop his phony deals dead in their tracks. Right.
Okay, what does Ian have at his office, though? Is it like a selection of pictures of crooks and they're gonna point out Minnith among them? The evidence I'm searching for may serve as the final nail in Minnith's coffin once you pin him down. In any case, you hurry your way to Armorica Village soon. His plan could very well be in its final stages. I'm confident there will be enough to solve the case.
I'll return to the village after I help Mr. Grimwood find whatever it is he's looking for. Until then, I leave my son in your hands. Please do what you can to save Derek from himself.
I'll drive Ian and Chief Tulta over to Armorica in my car once we're done. In the meantime, tread carefully, everyone. Don't let that Minnith get the best of you. Well, we may as well see this through to the end, huh? Having come so far. I think we get him. I feel like it might be a repeat of the situation we heard about in the Empire. If he's looking into the prices of lands, I mean, Armorica, prime real estate. We shall see and figure out the details, though. To Armorica Village! Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Elkin, what's going on? I hear Derek and Minnith's plan is almost ready to go. We'll just have to see what happens next. Gotta say, I'm looking forward to it. Well, if Elkin's excited about it, then it can be no goods.
I don't quite understand these changes Derek's been pushing for the village. Granted, it's true that having orbital tools in the fields will make things easier. But the simple truth is, I like field work. I'm not sure how I feel about having my job taken over by machines.
Can you imagine? In this day and age. Bad guy music.
Damn it! Did they already close the deal?
You 6 again?
The special support section.
Derek, Minnith, we have a few things we'd like to ask. What kind of agreements were you hoping to conduct today?
Meddling in my affairs on my father's behalf again, are you?
Please, Derek. There's no harm in answering their questions. After all, our plan has already been set into motion.
And what do you mean by that?
Right before you all arrived, Derek and I finished signing the requisite paperwork. In doing so, we have arranged to expand the operations of the lotus fields lent to me by the villagers. The Quincy company will then take over the management of the fields.
What? You signed away the rights to almost all of the village's agriculture. Is this really what you want, Derek?
What are you talking about? Nothing is changing. I'm only transferring management of the fields to him.
Yes, of course. It's quite simple, really. With my company harvesting the honey, we'll be able to streamline production of the candy. A temporary transfer of the land rights to my company is a necessary first step to facilitate the process.
What a crafty bastard.
His scheme has reached its final phase. Which means...
Now then, Derek, I'll be delivering this contract to our main office. We'll be in touch come tomorrow. Look forward to good news.
Sounds great. I'll be waiting.
Lloyd, we can't let him get away. Before you go, Minnith, we have a few more questions.
Oh? And what might they be?
Well, for starters, are you aware of the allegations leveled against you? The primary of which, of course, is suspicion of fraud.
What? That's absurd. How dare you insult Minnith like that?
Now, Derek, please calm yourself.
Minnith?
The special support section, was it? What could possibly make you suspect me of being a common criminal? Surely you have some manner of proof of your claim.
How we do.
Intriguing. Why don't you tell me all about it then? But first, let me remind you that I am an imperial citizen. If it turns out that your allegations are indeed entirely baseless, I will do what I must to right that indignity, police officers though you may be.
That's fine with us. Lloyd! Don't worry, Ellie. Let me handle this. Based on our investigation, there's no doubt in my mind that Minnith is guilty. I'm gonna expose him as the fraud he is and show Derek the truth.
How very glib. If that's how you want to play this, then go right ahead. I'll answer anything you like. Well, your first question?
Right. About your actions in Crossbell. There's a contradiction between what you've said and what you've done. Could you please recount your actions for me?
A contradiction?
Very well. Since arriving in Crossbell, I've been cooperating with Derek to advance our plans. Said plan will result in the formation of the Armorica Honey Company, a subsidiary of the Quincy Company. It will specialize in producing candy made from Armorica's high-quality honey. Combined with my company's acumen, it is a surefire success. The venture has already been approved by the city and is just about prepared to launch. Tell me, what is so contradictory about that?
Well, everything. This plan is more like a charade from where I'm standing. Our investigation has uncovered a key discrepancy in what you just said. You see, Minnith?
What is the contradiction in Minnith's plan? His confectionery acumen, that the plan is underway, or the potential profitability? Well, it's pretty clear. We know that this is supposed to go through a lot of layers, and it seems like it was just done on the spot. So there's no way that for the Quincy Company, this plan is underway.
The records we looked into at the IBC reveal your mistake. You say this plan is prepared to launch. In reality, it hasn't actually made any progress at all.
The IBC? What are you talking about?
Consider this. If the Quincy Company truly did intend to go through with this plan in Crossbell, They would need a loan from the IBC to fund the construction and development of the subsidiary.
Well, yes, of course. I registered the company with the city and opened a corporate account.
But that's as far as you went, isn't it? The account for the Armorica Honey Company contained no more than the minimum balance required to open it. While we weren't told the exact amount, I would speculate it's only in the tens of thousands of mira. Just how are you planning to build a factory and run a business with so little starting capital?
You looked into my IBC account?
This can't be true, can it, Minnith?
Please don't misunderstand, Derek. I never said there was any credence to their claims. I'm merely commenting on the audacity it takes to do something so invasive.
Forget that. Explain why there's hardly any mira in that account.
Being an executive of the company, I must be especially judicious when moving money around. As such, I can't take out a loan on behalf of the Quincy company. Of course, I will be securing one from the IBC once I've received permission from the main office.
Oh, yeah, that makes perfect sense.
A deft evasion. Don't count us out just yet. I can tell Minnith is getting frustrated. If we continue to press him and pile on the evidence, we can get him to crack.
That look on your face tells me you have something more to ask.
It just so happens that I do. That was far from our only point of contention about you, Minnith.
You're still not satisfied?
Don't let them rattle you, Derek. This will be a good opportunity for me to clear your mind of any and all doubt.
Next, I'd like to ask about you, Minnith. You say that you're an executive of the Quincy company. But is that really true?
Wait, what are you implying? Are you trying to say that Minnith isn't associated with the Quincy company at all?
That's what our evidence points to.
Oh, goodness me. I didn't expect you to say something so outlandish. How about I show you my business card and employee ID?
Those articles could easily be forged. Regardless, we have evidence that would supersede either of those. And we found it in the Quincy Company informational brochure.
An informational brochure? Oh yeah, the one in Mademoiselle's room.
We recorded the main points in a detective notebook. The brochure comes directly from the Quincy Company's main office, so there's no doubt as to its authenticity. What's more, there's a clear discrepancy between its contents and what you told us yesterday.
Well, what I told you?
That's right. Something you mentioned made it clear to us that you aren't the executive you claim to be.
What is the contradiction between Minnith's statements yesterday and the brochure? The creation of a subsidiary, his history in sales, or his dislike of sweets?
The contradiction between Minnith's statements yesterday.
Oh, wait. His dislike of sweets. I think I looked up the answer here, and it is his dislike of sweets. That kind of I'll be honest, that point flew over my head. I just figured it was the whole, always rushing to do this, but he's supposed to go through a lot of legal processes, and obviously the IBC thing. All right.
Allow me to quote a statement you made yesterday. Despite working for the company, I've never been one for sweets. Do you deny this fact?
Lloyd? How exactly is that relevant?
That's right. I don't care for sweets. What of it? Are you trying to say that someone who dislikes sweets couldn't possibly work for a confectionery company?
A confectionery company in general? Maybe. But not this one in particular.
What are you on about? Who do you work for? The confectionery police department?
This is what was written in the brochure. Prototypes are personally sampled by our executives, who, after many meetings, decide whether a product is worthy to go to market. Isn't that curious?
What is that? Wait!
It doesn't make sense that somebody like Minnith, who dislikes sweets, would be hired by a company like Quincy, not with a tradition like that. Wouldn't you agree?
No. I mean, I never said I hated sweets.
That's not gonna work on us. You admitted to not liking them in this very conversation. How stupid do you think we are? Gah! So that raises the question. Why would you lie about being an executive of the Quincy company? It's simple. You intended to gain Derek's trust before ripping him off. This is the only deduction I can make based on the evidence.
As for the confectioner seeking to make use of Armorica's honey, the Quincy company was merely a name with weight to it, one that Minnith threw around as a show of credibility.
Minnith? What is the meaning of this? You tricked me?
Derek, don't allow yourself to be deceived by these scoundrels.
What'd you just call us?
I mean, think about it for a second. Let's say, for argument's sake, that I did come to Armorica Village for the purpose of founding a fraudulent honey company. If, that being the case, I had an ulterior motive in deceiving my very good new friend Derek, then what was it? Why would I go to such ridiculous lengths? If you have no proof to back your claims, then you've no right to call me a fraud. You should arrest yourselves for slander.
We do bear the burden of proof, as well as providing a viable motive.
As far as the motive goes, I think I have a pretty good idea.
What?
Are you sure, Lloyd?
I barely even started untangling everything that's going on here.
Don't worry, I've got this. The person who pointed us in the right direction today also went to retrieve the final piece of evidence we need. The last piece of the puzzle that'll oust Minnith once and for all.
Quit with the mumbling. If you have something to say, then out with it.
With pleasure. You went to all these lengths to deceive this village with one goal in mind.
Seizing land rights, monopolizing hunting sales, or peddling knockoff orbital cars. It is definitely seizing land rights. That is what Minnith is trying to gain from his deception in Armorica.
Your true objective here is obtaining the land rights to Armorica Village itself.
What?
A trader we know named Harold Hayworth gave us some information about you. Immediately after arriving in Crosspell, you, Minnith, started looking into land prices throughout the state. If you were employed by the Quincy company in search of new business ventures, this would make no sense. So why do it? I can only think of one possibility. Seizing land was your aim from the very start.
It was? Of all the outrageous schemes.
There's more to it. Armorica Village is surrounded by scenic beauty, making it a high-value location. Suppose the deeds were sold to a third party as prime real estate for a villa resort. How much Mira do you think they would go for?
Land like this, I would estimate somewhere in the tens of millions of Mira. That said, I don't think the villagers would ever agree to such an arrangement.
Exactly. That's what made this whole fraudulent ruse, painstaking as it was, a necessity. Now, if we assume your motive was to obtain the land itself, your actions become that much more clear. First, you obtain the rights to the lotus fields, the farmland, and the village's private property. Then, under the pretext of returning to your company's main office, you vanish from Crosspell entirely. Finally, you sell the deeds on the black market and pocket the hefty sum of Mira they're worth. That, Minnith, has been your plan the entire time.
Minnith? I can't believe what I'm hearing. Somebody.
Lloyd!
Is that...
Oh. Thank goodness. It looks like we made it in time.
Derek.
Father? Mr. Hayworth!
Aren't you from Mr. Grimwood's office?
I'm his assistant, Pete. He would have come himself, but he had to get back to drafting the Constitution.
Did you come with evidence?
That we did. Ian said this would prove to be useful insurance.
You're all gonna want to take a look at this.
Pete produced a photograph for everyone to see. Oh? It was of a man who looked like a merchant, with the same face as Minnith's. We were right.
The man in this picture is... Why? Why do you have this?
A reporter Mr. Grimwood knew in the Empire gave this to him a long time ago. However, the name on the photo isn't Minnith. It's Rittner.
Bum, bum, bum. Rittner? I feel like we heard that name recently. Ah, I remember. It's the name of the man who stole that Erebonian baron's land. The one Mr. Grimwood told us about.
Oh yeah, that dude. That's right. I asked Ian about it again, and he said there's no mistaking it.
Well, this is a plot twist I wasn't expecting. Lloyd, why don't you do Minnith the honors? Tell him the only thing this photo could mean. With pleasure. The reason the man before us, Minnith, and the man in the photo, Rittner, look identical is...
Why do Rittner and Minnith look the same? They're twins! Minnith is Rittner in the skies, or
they're the same person. Minnith and Rittner are one and the same. That's the only explanation. And it's because they're the same person that their MOs are such a close match.
Mr. Grimwood came to the same conclusion. This man must have swindling down to an exact orbal science.
You're a crook, Minnith. As such, you'll be charged with attempted fraud. This is, of course, on top of the fraud you previously committed in Erebonia.
I can only guess how many skeletons we'll find in your closet when we get done with you.
I would very much like to hear all of the details in the department's interrogation room.
Grrr. You. Damn you. I am a professional. My work must be flawless. You meddlesome brats!
Minnith.
Don't get too full of yourselves just yet. You may have won this time, but I won't be apprehended so easily.
What?
Come, my lovely beasts!
Whoa, what? That's the thing we saw parked outside the hotel too.
What?
Monsters? They appear to be well trained too.
These cougars. Don't frickin' tell me.
No.
Derek!
Chief Tulta, it's too dangerous. Do you have any idea what you're doing?
I know precisely what I am doing, hence why I'm doing it. Oh, and don't think for even a second about trying to fight me. That is, unless you don't value the lives of Derek and the villagers. Now, step aside if you would. Fare thee well, for we shall never meet again.
Derek! Damn it, we can't just let him escape.
After him.
No! Oh, Elkin's new truck, come on! No!
He managed to get away. Ugh, I've never been so frustrated.
I can't believe a spineless coward like him gave us the slip. At least none of the villagers were hurt. Let's look at the silver lining. What a mess. If we come across him again, he won't be so lucky. For now, though, let's regroup with Chief Tulta and the villagers so we can report what's happened. Yeah, that's a good idea. What? No epic chase to stop him? We're just gonna let him go?
I can't thank you all enough for what you've done today. There's no exaggeration to say that you saved the village from the clutches of that con man.
Oh, we still got away in the end.
Yes, but now the department knows to keep a lookout for him. It should only be a matter of time before he's caught.
Derek? I made a grave mistake, and I put everyone through so much trouble just so they could fix it. I let that man rope me into his scheme, and it nearly cost us all our livelihoods.
Don't be so hard on yourself. You're not the one who's guilty.
Wrong. It's my fault completely. No two ways about it. I was so desperate to fix and reform Armorica that I ignored my father and almost drove it into the ground instead. I have no right to become the next village chief.
That is where you're wrong.
Father?
I've been so stuck on the old ways that I never tried to hear your proposals for what they were. I've known the village will go under if we maintain our current course, and yet I've done nothing. It is my inaction that drove you to do this. Thus, I must bear a large share of the responsibility for letting it happen.
That's very admirable, Chief Tolta.
Thanks to this crisis, I finally realized where I went wrong. The welfare of this village cannot hinge entirely on the ideology of a single stubborn old man. So instead, Derek, I would ask that you provide me your input as well. We will each contribute our ideas and discuss them with the villagers. That is the only way we can ensure a future for Armorica.
You're right. I'm so sorry, Father. From here on out, I'm going to dedicate myself to the betterment of the village.
I'm happy the two of you were able to reconcile.
Same. Makes almost losing your whole village to some crook worth it, wouldn't you say?
Put a sock in it, Wazy. Learn how to read a room.
I'm really sorry about him. I swear, we've tried everything.
At any rate, we owe you all an enormous debt, so allow me to express my thanks once more. I also owe my gratitude to Mr. Grimwood. It's a shame he couldn't be here.
I'll pass your thanks on to Mr. Grimwood and let him know what happened.
Even if I only played a minor role, I'm glad I could be of assistance. I look forward to our continued partnership, Chief Tolta.
Same to you, Harold.
If you could, keep a lookout for Minnith, just in case he returns. And of course, you can always contact the SSS if you ever need our assistance.
Hopefully, it'll never be for anything related to this ordeal again. We'll be sure to keep you in mind. One born every minute! Oh, what a sort of great conclusion to the whole Armorica storyline. I wonder though, did he not have like the deeds with him as he left? Can we like render those invalid so he can't sell them off? Or were they never handed from Derek to Minnith? Not sure, but he got away? Are you kidding me? I was trying to talk to Tolta there. I was wrong to try and solve all the village's problems by myself. This whole mess has shown me just how flawed my judgment has been up until now. From here on, I need to work with my father. No, the whole village, to create a brighter future.
Protecting the future of Armorica Village. My son and I have been too close-minded toward each other's views to see that we share the same goal. This ordeal must have been the goddess's way of teaching us that.
Thank you very much for your help, everyone. It's because of all of you that Derek and Chief Tolta were finally able to make up. I knew turning to the SSS was the right call to make.
Mr. Grimwood has his hands full with drafting a constitution, so he couldn't make it today. Luckily, looks like everything worked out in the end. I'll pass Chief Tolta's thanks on to Mr. Grimwood and let him know what happened.
Didn't expect to see Pete all the way out here. Alright, let's end with some Armorica talkies.
Derek and his father have finally reconciled. I couldn't be more relieved. Thank you all so much for your help.
Indeed. I'm so glad. It's been teased for so long. The disagreements, the anger, the hatred. But now, nobody's out in the old McDonald's had a farm. And thankfully he still does. Turns out that Minnith fellow was a scoundrel. Even I got led up the garden path by his fake smile and courteous ways.
Derek's got it worse of any of us, though. I hope the boy's not being too hard on himself.
I can't believe Minnith released monsters in the middle of the village. Thank the goddess none of the children were hurt.
That was a little spooky.
Holy cow! Did you see those cat things jump out of that van? It was so cool. Was that guy an animal trainer for a circus or something? Dang it, I should have tried to get his autograph.
No, Camille.
Those kitties were so big. Too bad they weren't cute. I knew that guy with the monocle was up to no good. I still can't believe he let all those monsters out, though. I thought it was gonna be eaten for sure.
Mm-hmm. How are things in here?
When I glanced out the window, there were monsters out in the middle of the village. Stranger still, Minnith looked to be the one controlling them. I was so shocked, my back gave out on me. Ouch. It still hurts.
Gramps threw out his back earlier. I hope he'll be alright. Maybe we should bring him a compressor or something for that. Maybe so. Well, what a freaking day it's been here. In Armorica Village. Go Fun, have you heard about this?
Unbelievable. Minnith was a crook all along, and I never put it together. The man's a master con artist through and through, and a low-down wretch at that. He's on a wanted list now. Here's hoping they have him behind bars before long.
I hope we meet him again.
Minnith made swift work of winning over the village. I'll say one thing, he's got a keen eye for understanding what people really want. But in the end, he chose to use his talents for evil. A man like that is beyond help.
I can't believe that Minnith. What a despicable man. You ask me, there was something off with that guy from the get-go. If he ever shows his face around here again, I'm gonna clobber him for sure.
Everything Minnith said was a lie? That's upsetting. Can't imagine what Derek must be feeling right now.
Oof. It's a complicated case, but
It brought the whole village together in a way.
Thank Adio, Stefan, and the other children weren't attacked by those monsters. What that crook did was unforgivable.
Agreed, ma'am. Agreed. Now then, I'm curious about Elkin's take on all of this. We should have just jumped in his van and driven after. Come on.
It turns out Minnith deceived us all. I never would have thought that someone so callous existed in all the world. Lesson learned.
yeah, don't trust anybody. Anybody could betray you.
Well, I'll be tarred and feathered. Minnith was a swindler all along. Say, about this orbital truck I bought from him. What do I do with it now?
If I remember right, you bought it for 50,000 mira, while the market value is closer to 500,000.
That is a bit of a problem.
For the time being, it would probably be best if you turned it over to the police. Since it was sold and purchased through a legitimate transaction, it will probably be given back to you in the end.
True, though whether the truck is legal in the first place will need to be investigated as well.
Alright, I'll go ahead and contact the police then. Turns out about the shiny new truck from a crook. Guess I better contact the police. I guess so. Oof, what a day it's been in Armorica. But everybody, I am curious about a thing, yes? Carl's curious again, you know how it goes. If we go back to the start of the day, we could also go to Armorica Village right now. But this was pre the whole shenanigans with Minnith, so I kind of want to sample the mood of the village itself. Okay, so this is pre-deception. I hear Derek and Minnith's plan is almost ready to go. See what happens next. Gotta say, I'm looking forward to it. Right, so we did talk here and here, but once we got across the bridge, that's when all hell broke loose. So,
it feels as if the village's problems grow greater with each passing season. I know Chief Tolta wants us to hold on to our traditions. But even so, I can understand why Derek is pushing for all this reform.
if only they could compromise. I've heard what Derek's been up to behind the chief's back. I wonder if this is really okay. A brand new industry, right here in Armorica.
Minnith is coming by on important business to see Derek today. You think that means they're gonna finalize their plans soon?
Looks like Derek and Minnith are going to finish up their talks today. I say we should celebrate the birth of a new and improved Armorica Village with a bang and hold a party. Haha, Celia loves that kind of stuff. No way she wouldn't be up for it. So I probably can't get into their room, I would guess. Oh. I'm expecting an important guest today. You're gonna have to leave. Derek.
Chief told us Son has been very tense since he returned yesterday. It's understandable. His talks today could potentially change Armorica forever.
Imagine. Just becomes another luxury resort. This Minnith character. One born every Minnith. Minnith will be conducting his final negotiations today, I hear. Knock on wood that his and Derek's plan worked. This is awfully exciting stuff. Everyone's talking about changing the village, but I'm not so sure I like that. I don't really mind things staying how they are. Life's a lot easier this way.
Yeah. But you know, it's fine.
I'm tired of playing bracers. Sheesh, it's so boring around here. I wish something crazy would happen and snap everyone out of it.
Oh, Camille, he's the one who jinxed it.
I want to play bracers.
Yes, indeed. That Minnith fella's planning on building something on our private property off Old Armorica Road. That's where we keep our farming tools, though. Guess we'll have to move the storehouse. Yeah, but at least your problems.
I never would have imagined the village could change so rapidly. It must be thanks to Minnith's expertise.
Oh yeah, I see. Everybody loves Minnith. Soon as he releases a couple of murder dogs in the village, it's... people, man. Change. They change on a dime. That's what they say, right? Change on a mirror.
My husband's gone to visit Mr. Hayworth's home to discuss Derek's recent behavior. We can't handle this on our own anymore. There, goddess above, please watch over Armorica Village and guide Derek.
Well, we may not have the goddess above, but we have the SSS below. And they know a thing or two about helping out. Now then. We are just about done here for the day. It's been like that quest was a juicy one. But Boathouse? I think Boathouse. Let's do some Eastern talkies before we wrap up, starting with Peter. No matter how many times Sir Dan dueled Triton, it was never victorious. Same goes for Copen with Kaguya. It's starting to feel like we're in a never-ending nightmare. I'll help out eventually. Once I have all the rods and stuff.
Damn it! How many more tries will it take? Triton the Silver Orca is one formidable foe. It's no surprise he's the head of the Elite Four. He's a world-class fisher, believe you me.
No, I'll jump in eventually. For now, though. Why can't I outfish the Dragon Princess? I must have challenged her about 1,000,000 times now. Is there something wrong with me? Am I just not cut out for this? Come on, Copen. Those aren't the words of a proud fisherman. Now I'm curious. I never picked this. No, it's just a nice little decoration. Just a bit of pleroma grass to cause some spatial distortions and summon devils from beyond. Let's ride to Tangram Gate. Man, am I spoiled with this car. Here we are. Crossbell pays an entire 10% of its tax revenue to the Empire and Republic combined. Independence would make Crossbell no longer beholden to that, significantly increasing our state budget. I wonder how much of it will go to fortifying the CGF in that scenario. The bracers are searching here, there, and everywhere for those cryptids. They're a good fit for the job too. Those guys are way more experienced with areas off the beaten path than us. Bracers are a special group, a dedicated group, a capable group. They go where no man has gone and kick some butt along the way. For some reason, no cryptids have appeared on Tangram Hill. It would be problematic if we had to go into the buffer zone to exterminate a cryptid with the Republic right there. But it could still happen, so we gotta keep our guards up. Good morning. There have been sightings of unidentified monsters around the state recently. We urge you to exercise caution while driving on the highways.
Thank you for the warning. I'll do that.
Now, if you'll just sign these entry papers, you can be on your way.
Ah, of course, scribble, scribble.
A good old scribble scribble on the roads. Yo, up the bracer, boys! Funny running into you here, SSS.
Scott and Wenzel, I'm surprised to see you out by the border. Are you headed to the Republic? Or is there a cryptid at Tangram Hill, maybe?
Neither. If one of those monsters did appear at Tangram Hill, it would fall under the CGF's jurisdiction.
That's true. But in that case, what are you doing here?
We were investigating the area off the East Crossbell Highway where you defeated that cryptid yesterday. If the pleroma grass really is connected to those things appearing, we wanted to see if any more of it had bloomed nearby.
I see. That does seem like a distinct possibility.
Since you're bracers, you guys can get into back areas we wouldn't be able to investigate. That's the thought. Leave this to us for now. I'm sure there are things that only you guys can do to help as well. The trade conference may be done, but we haven't gotten any less busy after the fact. I haven't been able to see my fiancée, Pearl, at all.
It is Pearl. For some reason, they keep talking about, like, Cynthia being, like, having the exquisite charms. But I guess that makes sense. She's single, but she's still, like, super... Because Pearl was like, I wish I could sigh like Cynthia. That's how it was.
The girl who works at a department store, you mean? Unfortunately, you're gonna need to stick this out. We're short-staffed as it is. When this is all over, you should ask Mitchell for a day off. I can help cover for you if need be. Haha, thanks, Wenzel. I don't know what I'd do without you, partner. After reading her report, I confirmed that pleroma grass was also growing where the other cryptids appeared. What an inscrutable plant. We'd better be careful around it. Maybe if we just have a little nibble. That's probably Ganassa's. Just pure madness from that. When a situation becomes this dire, it doesn't feel as though there's much a simple cook like myself can do. At the very least, I need to keep preparing delicious food so our guardsmen can be at their best. Here. They say an old lady who works as a counterfeit dealer was arrested in Altair yesterday. I think she's so spry at her age, yet wastes on being a criminal. In some ways, I pity her for that. She's a weird one. If Crossbow becomes independent, the CGF will effectively become an army. I, for one, would welcome an upgrade to our equipment, not to mention our rations. The stuff we've got now is just... whew.
Things have been so slow around here these days. It's supposed to rain again tomorrow, so maybe I'll read an Arkansas fan book to pass the time.
Not gonna hand it to me? Sounded like the perfect setup, good sir. I like the idea that somebody, even like talking about a book in Lloyd's presence, just makes him like look expectantly at them and reach out his hand. They're like, what? No, this is mine. I'm gonna read this. And Lloyd's like, So you're gonna be done with that soon or what?
It's hard to say whether the referendum will lead to Crossbell declaring independence. But given our current tensions with Erebonia and Calvert, they'll almost certainly see it as a threat to the status quo. The local referendum is going to have a larger impact on our neighboring countries than most people realize.
So we do have the whole, take a sip of apple juice every time they say independence. Maybe for the next round of talkies we do, I'm gonna keep count. We can make a count beforehand, like how many times will they say independence or independence. Then we can see who gets closer. That could be fun.
About that plant you found during your investigation. Pleroma grass, I believe it was called. It was reported to be the key ingredient in Ganassa's, correct? We've always known that the drug was dangerous, but never expected it would be linked to something like this.
Weren't you at the police academy during the cult incident, Deputy Commander? That was the first place the CGF went for.
That's right.
We were completely blindsided when the brainwashed unit from Belgard attacked. In the end, the academy staff and I couldn't hold them back, and Ernest was sprung from the prison.
We figured that was the case.
I think a simple flower could cause not only what happened that night, but also the cryptid's emergence in our state. The latter of which is something that presents a clear and present danger to all cross-bellans. I think a simple flower. Indeed. The cross-bellans.
Yo, anybody out here? You never know when you might meet a real cutie out on Tangram Hill. It's just... I have my hopes up. One day. It's unclear whether Tangram Hill is cross-bellan or Republican territory. For all intents and purposes, the Republic has control of it right now. But if Crossbow were to become independent, the disputes over the land might heat up.
Despite how he looks, Deputy Commander Douglas is a fairly chill guy. Mostly. I want to be like him someday. Douglas the Demon is a pretty chill guy. Alrighty-roo. That is Tangram Hill all run through. Get in the car. Boathouse, East Crossbell Highway, Crossbell City, East Exit. Now then, I know we have some other quests to take care of. I'm kinda curious about the Michelin quest, so next time around, that might be exactly what we do. Thank you so much for watching. I've been your host, Carl, and this has been Trails to Completion.